Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Certified Male Podcast. Where on this podcast, we will be addressing all topics of life as we deliver our unfiltered, unbiased 2 cents on Believe Me When I Say It, everything discussion worthy. It's your boy, Drew.
And it's your boy Tati, aka Mr. Slow Stickum himself.
And it's your boy Bars.
And you guessed it, it's your boy Jake, aka Mr. Light Skin Key Sweat.
You know, a lot of things that you like, the main thing you would hear a lot of people say, like, we don't talk about it a lot, but I would hear, like, on daily life, I'll just be going through life and I hear people talk about, dang, I missed out on this, I missed out on that. You know, you probably had some money, so you always say, like, damn, I wish I knew this was going to happen, or I wish I knew this at the time, or, you know, stuff that you didn't know then that you wish you knew because you kind of, like, you know, perfected how you think about it now. I mean, just your mindset about it. So basically, lessons you learn.
You know, as life goes on with the different experiences and things, we learn something new. Through every experience we have, we learn something new.
Yes, sir.
Each and every day.
And with new things come new challenges, come new topics, but also people don't understand that it also comes with new failures. And we never really prepare for that because nobody wants to fail, but we all failed before in our lives, and it probably led us to have something greater or achieve something greater that you was trying to get. So, you know, y'all ever had a moment where y'all felt like you failed doing what you want, like just you failed that life. You feel like you failed that life at that moment.
We often have those failures where we think like, oh, damn, my life over. But people got to understand that with failures comes lesson. You're not gonna succeed in everything you do because if you did, everybody would be rich. But they got to learn to take the failures and move forward with the failures and keep going, keep trying to get the success from that.
But it's usually in that moment, but you end up popping out and understanding that it was a few lessons that you had to learn to get through that failure. A lot of times it started off with you losing something, but in the end you win something because you know not to do this thing again or do that thing again. So you kind of you learn more than anything from losses than wins.
That's true.
They got to understand that your first time trying something, you gon' fail. And most people give up when they fail, like, oh, this not for me. I can't do this. I can't do that. But you got to understand, you've never been in that position before. You never tried this before. Sometimes you're going to try it and try it and try it and try it. And on that fifth, sixth, seventh time, as long as you keep getting back up, that failure don't mean nothing.
Then sometimes it's you fail at this thing, but the lessons that you learn, you take it to the new thing that you're trying to do. So how all the time do you keep trying the same thing, like you saying, Dylan? Sometimes you could take it to something new, and all of those lessons. Meaning, let's just say the people who make it big, they end up signing this bad contract. Yeah, at that moment you signed a bad contract, but once that bad contract up, you know I ain't never signed no bad contract again.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Varis, about wins and losses. You learn a lot more from losses than wins. Like you at the top, you chilling, you might be comfortable, but this dude that just took an L, he hungry. He hungry. He want it now. He coming. He might come for that top spot. So like, I like how you put that. That was well said.
Not even that he hungry. It's just if you already top, you already making it. It's like it ain't nothing quote unquote to learn. People just coast. But when you taking your little L's, you learning this, you learning that as you going along your journey. Not saying that everybody need to go through this hard journey of taking L's, but a lot of times you see that people who took a lot of L's to start off with, they be the ones better off in the long run because you getting that experience.
True. Like trial and error. You have to have those errors.
Yeah, you getting that experience and you end up with a lot more experience. And it's kind of like with the workforce, you get people that just come out of college, they don't really got no experience. They got the education and the paperwork behind it. But when they come into the workforce, you have to have the experience for you to be able to be, you know,
Qualified.
yeah, pretty much you have to have the experience to be qualified.
It's just like putting in time for something that you really want. Like,
But you had to take those L's
yeah, you
You
gotta
had
take
to.
those.
to get to that point.
You had to fail. And like, one thing I always used to go. I don't want to say always used to go by. I feel like I picked this up playing football in high school, bruh. Like the coaches always used to say, "All right, you can only go up from here." You know, when you so low or when you fail, is the only way to go is up. That's literally like the only bright spot you would most people will look for in failing. That's always the bright spot. Like, okay, I'm down bad. I'm fucked up for real. The only way you could go from is up. You know, it's not like you're gonna keep going down. You already hit rock bottom. If I hit rock bottom, I might just jump an inch up, and you know I'm away from rock bottom already. It's just you could only go up, and that was something I feel like I learned in high school that just like it kind of stuck with me. It was one of the realest things I learned, and it really helped with life, dealing with failures, because we all dealt with that.
And speaking on that topic, get a little personal. What's a failure or something that you learned from school that stuck with you?
Bruh, I ain't even gonna lie. School, failing school, like when I was failing, it let me learn what I was like. Okay, I want to really say this the right way. Like I finished school late in high school. I finished high school late, and I know why I finished late. You know, I wasn't focused. I was BSing. I was chasing after the wrong things and studying the wrong things. So I found myself, you know, out of the crop. You know, my whole class graduate walking the stage right now, and I'm not walking with y'all. I can't even show up to the graduation. Yeah, I wanna root you on, my boy. I do, but I can't even go there right now because I feel so bad about it. Like that was a bad moment for me. It was a down moment for me. Like I just felt like I was at the end, bro. Like high school, you passed everything. I was not one of those people that failed third grade. Everybody failed the third grade. I was not one of the people that failed the third grade. So I really felt like, okay, bro, failure was never an option for me. Like you going, you know, you different. You gonna pass all the time, and then when I get to the end of the road, that's when I finally like tripped up. I finally slipped up. I stopped like focusing on what I was supposed to focus on. Stopped paying attention to what I was supposed to pay attention to. Stopped listening to people who was really just wanted the best from me. And it led me down the dark path. It led me down the path where I was partaking in some hobbies that a little too much than I would prefer, and just talking to people differently, handling things differently, and not in the best way. So that moment right there with high school, I mean, I ended up getting my diploma later on, but not being able to walk with my class and even take them pictures, bro. Like I didn't even take the graduation pictures. I could have, but I didn't even do it because I was so ashamed. I would say I was ashamed, embarrassed, or whatever. Like I didn't even feel good about myself. Like a lot of people didn't even know that I didn't, but I kept it to myself. It was eating me up on the inside, and I had to deal with that a certain way. And that just taught me, like, bro, you know, whatever hole you dig yourself into, you're the only person who's gonna dig yourself out of that hole. So now you failed this, you late on this, you know, you ain't get to walk the stage. But guess what? Somebody's gonna have to walk the stage. It got to be you, and nobody's gonna do the work for you. So I had to go to alternative schools and catch up on my stuff that I had to do. Math was kicking my ass. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had to catch up on stuff like that, and I stayed consistent with it. I had a job at the time, so I was going to work and going to school, which was something I never thought I'd be doing. I didn't even think I was that responsible to do it. I didn't know that until I started actually doing it, and it made me who I am today. I feel like I needed that. I needed that boost. I feel like I was comfortable. Like I said, failure wasn't an option. I feel like I was comfortable and untouchable, and I had to be humbled. And I humbled myself in a way I didn't want to, but I needed it. So basically, just all in all, like just learning that you got to dig yourself out of some stuff. You know, you can stay down if you want to, but ain't nobody gonna dig you out. Somebody can lend you a hand, but you got to do the climbing. And I was doing the climbing after all that.
Yeah. But for me, it was I don't think I really had nothing from school, but I can say that between the ages of like 15 to probably like 20, 22, 21, 22, where I I consider that like school years. That's the time that you graduate high school, going to college or whatever. I didn't take the route of college. I took the route of the workforce. And once you leave high school and join the workforce, you figure out that the world don't care nothing about you. You have to. You have to, whatever you get, you need to make it happen. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Ain't nobody gonna ask you is you okay. Ain't nobody gonna ask you is you tired. Don't nobody care. You gotta keep going. You actually gotta make it happen for yourself.
It ain't all roses and daisies. The world ain't all roses and
Right.
daisies. You have to learn that the hard way.
Right. And like I said, I learned that between them ages. I think with school, they kind of babied you. They told you the world don't care about you, blah, blah, blah. And ain't nobody gonna care about you by yourself. But you ain't really listen. So you going through school thinking everything's straight. Like you just know you gonna make a way. Then you hit that real world and it's like, that boys wasn't lying, boy.
And in school, you seeing all those teachers like they telling you, oh, it ain't all this and that. But I'm looking at you like you look just fine. You look like life is just treating you all right. So it might treat me the same way. You probably just over exaggerating. That's what I used to always think when they used to say stuff like that. But man, everything they was saying was gems, bro. They was dropping some real gems when they told us all that stuff.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I took is my mama telling me, oh, you better chill. Don't move too fast. And you end up moving fast and find yourself in situations that you're not supposed to be in, all because you put yourself in them.
Thing I took from high school that stuck with me in the long run was being over, how I said, I won't say overachieving, but like overcompensating, doing too much when it's not needed. That's the one thing that stuck with me. So now it's just like I do everything as natural, like as it come.
No, my lesson came at a early age in middle school. Everybody who knows, I was a horrible child in middle school. I was fighting every day, doing everything the wrong way. I played sports while I was in middle school, so that was like my little, like that was the thing that got me over because I didn't really like school, but
Safe haven.
yeah, that was my little safe space. So it was one time where in my days when I was doing the little bad things, my coach called me to the office like, I gotta kick you off the team because you doing this and doing all this bad stuff. So from that moment on, when I got kicked off the team, I know like me losing sports was something that was not something that I would be okay with. So ever since then, from that point on, I just kept put my head down and just did my work, stayed positive. I was asking teachers if they need help. I was doing everything opposite of what I was doing prior to me getting kicked off the team. So a lesson I learned was you can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's why you cannot have your cake and eat it too.
Because if you actually think about it, we call it a double-edged sword. Because you can't do what you want to do and then expect to get the result that you expected. There has to be some kind of repercussions in between there for you not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Wait, say that last part just again. I want to process that. You say you can't do what you want to do to get what?
You can't do what you want to do and think you're going to get where you want to be. There got to be some repercussions in between.
You feel like it got to be that way? Or you just saying like it's going to be obstacles?
Yeah, if you're going the wrong way, like doing what you want to do the wrong way, pretty much.
I was just gonna say like partying one night and knowing that you got to wake up like 7 o'clock in the morning for work.
I mean, if you can do it, then you can do it. It ain't really like Dylan saying like I understand. It's just you learn consequences. It's consequences for your actions.
All right.
Like everything have a consequence, whether it's good or bad. That's up to the universe. You just have a consequence. This one of my, I could say I took this then because that's one of my main things in life. Just talking to people in general. Like my little brother, he was asking me about a tattoo. I'm telling him, yeah, you can get a tattoo. It's cool. You can do whatever you want to do with your body. Just understand that it's consequences in this life. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, people judge because you got a tattoo. So don't get mad when somebody say, "Oh, you sleeved up. I can't hire you," or "You got a tattoo on your face. I don't want you around me." Like you can't get mad at people for the response that they give you. It's just a consequence. Like it's some stuff that unfortunately we can't change, like skin color, that end up be a consequence. But stuff that you can change, that you choose to do, you can't get mad at people's responses for your actions.
Yeah, and that's something. See, that's something I've been running with for a long time. Like people always say, "Yeah, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do." Yeah, you're doing what you want to do, but you might not get where you want to get.
Or see the results.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's fine as long as they understand and accept the consequences. I'm a person that I've always just accepted my consequences. So I call it taking a lick. Sometimes you gotta take your lick, and it is what it is. Ain't nothing that you can change or do about it. Like, there's so many people that, they, like you say, they want to do what they want to do, but then when the universe come back and swing around and get them their consequence, I don't know what I ever did to the world and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why? That's the why me people.
Why happened to me? Mm-hmm.
You forgot 5 years ago you was knocking over old ladies,
Karma is a
right?
Bro, listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm one of those people, like I accepted my consequences. Like if things go bad, I know life gonna come in repercussions, and I accepted my consequences. But I feel like that's what it is. I don't feel, y'all boys gonna look at me crazy when I say this, but just hear me out. I don't feel karma is real unless you believe that it's real. Like people think bad stuff only happens to you if you do bad stuff. No, bad stuff just happens because bad stuff happens. It's life. Sometimes good things don't always happen to good people. Bad things don't always happen to bad people. So I won't say it's karma. I feel like things just happen. But if you believe, like, okay, I did this bad thing, then this karma is happening. It's like, okay, maybe that's a way to calm you down, to control you, and make you want to do right, motivate you to do right. But I don't think karma is like a universe thing. I feel like life is just life. Things ain't never gonna work out how you want it to work out sometimes. It's just shit happens. And the main thing that really got me to look at it like that, this karma situation, was that shooting at that church, bro, with what's dude's name with the Burger King, Dylan Roof. I seen that man was able to go into a church and shoot 9 black folk, people who went to church. I don't care what you do, I don't care what you believe in, but these people was going to, they went to church to praise God, do their regulars. They went over there to praise God, do their regulars, and they ended up getting murdered. They accepted that man in their church. They didn't care about his skin color. Most people look at you crazy, you black, you walk into a white church. They didn't look at him crazy. They didn't suspect nothing. They accepted him accepted him for who he was, and he killed all them people. And I looked at it like, bro, ain't no way those people was worse than him. Ain't no way them people was worse than him. So how was that able to happen to them? And he just get Burger King and go sit in a jail cell for the rest of his life. That would make me look at it like, bro, karma is it's not karma, bro. It's the universe. Shit happens, and you gonna have to deal with it.
Karma is a mental stimuli that they put on us as we grow up, just to keep us you could say like tunnel vision, just to keep us down a straight path. Like they'll say, oh, you do this, karma gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to in our mind, like, okay, I'm not gonna do that because that's bad, and the result can be the karma might come back and get me as a bad effect. So yeah, to me it's just a mental stimuli. But I believe in it just because the effect that it have on me, for me not to do anything on that negative side to get a negative return.
It keep you in check. It gives you the mental power to keep yourself in check. Like if you believe that, then I'm going to do it. Like it's like reaching goals or something. If you believe you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So if you believe like if I do bad stuff, bad things is going to happen, that's a good mentality to have because you don't want to be a bad person and you don't want bad things to happen. But that leads to expectations. I'm doing so good and I expect something good to come out of this, and that's never how it works. It's not going to go like that because, like I said, life is life. The universe is the universe. Shit happens, man. It happens, good or bad. It happens. You might get good one day, you might get great one day, you might get bad another day. You know, it's inconsistent, to be honest. Sometimes it's consistent for most people, but it's never based on what you put in. It's never based on what you put out. Some people have been putting good into this universe all their life, and they get killed in the most tragic ways or pass away in the most tragic ways or something like that. So it's life, bruh.
Karma to me, karma is different than consequences. Like karma is just like Jalen said, just a mental stimuli to say do good to people so you can get good in return. That way everybody in the world is good. Unfortunately, some people don't care about karma, whatever. That's cool. It's just, it's something that people live by. But consequences is just, I don't think it have nothing to do with karma. I don't think it have nothing to do with right or wrong. It's just the consequences is from the universe, whoever made the rules or whatever it may be. That's whatever you do, it has a consequence. Whether it's good or bad, it's gonna be determined by the universe. So, like you saying, Drew, yeah, not everything happened to good people. Not everything happened to bad people. You see, some of these old people was just young evil people, and they living to 100 years old. Like
Real
I think,
talk, bruh.
I think that's why I say I think consequences is different. Consequences is just yeah, they living to 100 years old, but their body is deteriorated. Like they don't want to live no more, but they continue to live. That's a consequence of the evil that you put on this earth. Like the same thing with somebody who was just a criminal when they was young. Now when they get grown, they done went to jail all these times and all this different stuff. Now it's hard for you to live. The same pain that you put on somebody else, now you have to deal with that pain in a different way. Yeah, nobody may not be robbing you this time or knock you over the head, but bro, you struggling to pay your bills every single month. It's just a consequence of your actions. Like that's what I say. I think it's different than karma. Karma is just a mental thing, but consequences is definite. It's always gonna be whether it's a good or bad consequence. You'll never know, but it's always gonna be a consequence.
I believe in energy more than I believe in karma.
Same.
Like if your energy is off, everything you do is gonna be off. If your energy is great, excited or whatever, joyful, you're gonna be joyful. If you walk around with your head down all day, you just gonna feel sad. Why? Because you're walking with that energy. You have that mindset. You just walk around. But if you like wake up, good morning, you in a good mood, you dapping everybody up, clapping everybody up, you making breakfast, your day 9 times out of 10 is gonna end good because it started well.
You can say that, but that goes person to person. Cause just because you think it's bad energy don't mean it's bad energy. At the end of the day, we got people that was slave masters that seen no problem with what they were doing. They were getting up and eating breakfast with their family, getting up and going to the middle of the city, watching the lynching. Like, so you can't really say bad energy, good energy. It's just your consequence is your consequence. Like, I don't, I don't know. The only thing I believe in is God and consequences. That's the only thing that stay consistent. Like whether the consequence is good or bad, it don't matter. But it's always gonna be a consequence, no matter what. It's gonna be a consequence. Everything you do, like you can get up late and go to work. Yeah, your boss may not say nothing today or tomorrow, but 5 years of you being late, he just come up to you with this pink slip. Now you fired. Like it is. I don't know. I think the consequence is the only thing that's consistent. All that karma and all of that stuff. Nah.
So you feel consequences is not always bad?
No, not all the time. Sometimes it's good right now, and then it can get bad.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, in that case, you just replace karma.
Like when I think about it, sometimes you wonder what kind of persons people were when out of nowhere they get this big blow up, and then next thing you know they fall off the face of the earth. And it's like, was that a consequence from something you did 10 years ago? Was that a consequence of the people that you crossed, or the people that you wronged? Like,
And then when it come to that, when it come to thinking like that, that's when I be like, if you believe that something you did yesterday or a year ago or 10 years ago is a result of what's happening to you now, the consequences you're receiving now, then that's what you're gonna believe. It's like Jayla said, the stimuli, the mind thing, bro. Whatever you believe, that's how it's gonna be.
I think people only take the good stuff. So when you did something, when you went to high school and graduated college and graduated this and graduated that, oh, all the good stuff is the consequences for graduating college is getting a good job. You take that, but when it's something bad and your life is shit, it's like, oh, I don't want that down. There ain't no consequence. No, it's everything is consistent. Whether you do bad or good, you're gonna have a consequence to everything that you do.
Or results.
Whether it's bad or good, sometimes it's just the universe that determine. Right now, unfortunately, yeah, you went to college and spent 100K and you 80K in debt. But right now, it ain't the time for you to get a job. It's just a bad consequence from going to college. You're gonna work at Steak and Shake until the universe decide that okay, it's time to get good consequences now. You done did right by people. I understand that. I don't know, the powers that be, the gods or whatever, determine that it's time for you to see the good side, or it's time for you understand this, you understand that.
That's why I believe in universe and the power of the tongue. You speak what you want to existence. That's why I say little to none when I speak. I feel like whatever you speak out into the universe will come to you. And that's why I'm big on energy as well. 'Cause I feel like the transfer of energy of someone may having a bad day may transfer to me. Just like soul ties and all that other stuff.
But what determines a bad day is what,
To
like,
them.
that's
No,
why I
no, I
say
said to
consequence.
them. To them. They could be
Uh,
having a bad day.
but that could be a perfect day for you.
Yeah. But I'm so
That's what I'm saying. Is the only thing consistent is the consequence behind that day.
but I'm so big on energy. If that person touched me, I could recognize whether they had a bad day or not.
Like if you bust a tire, your tire busts on the highway on your way to work, that's a bad day for everybody. That's a bad day. Like I say that because Var said it might be a good day to you. Like if my tire busts on the highway, that's a bad day for everybody, and your energy is gonna show, and your energy might ricochet off the next man. Now, what's a bad day to him might be a good day to this guy.
With that being said, what's some things you know now that you wish you knew when you was younger?
I'm gonna take it back to school. I wish that I knew. Like I ended up learning that every subject they was teaching in school wasn't gonna pertain to my everyday life and stuff that I was really gonna deal with on a everyday basis that we just call being adults. Like certain books we were reading, in language arts and stuff like that. Not the educational books. I'm talking about the funny books, the Charlotte's Webs and stuff like that. Like I wish that I knew back then that school is not going to teach me all about what life has to offer for real. School is not going to teach you how to get up and go pay a bill. School is not going to teach you how to hustle when you struggling to get a job. You know, school is not going to teach you how to deal with police as a black man when you get pulled over or something. So I wish I knew back then that I was going to have to learn a lot more stuff outside of school because school was not going to provide that. So in school, what I was learning, like real life lessons. So in school, like, you're learning how to add, multiply, subtract, divide, those stuff are all mandatory, all needed. But we're not going to sit here and say A plus B equal Y and X. And I don't think we ever needed that. I don't think we ever was going to use that. Maybe somebody's in some kind of job where they actually did know that. But me personally, I didn't need that. I didn't need to learn none of that. You feel me? And that kind of not knowing that was what made me be late. So I didn't need none of that to go through everyday life. I was putting so much stress on myself, like if I don't know this, I'm gonna fail in life. I'm gonna do this, and it's like that wasn't the case at all, bro. It was people dropping out in ninth grade, people dropping out in 8th grade, 7th grade, and they got the hustling. They started, not even just hustling. They just started making moves. They started picking up trades and stuff. I feel like trades was a lot more helpful to a lot of people than college. Though college did help a lot of people, but if in school they was teaching us to, learn a trade,
Something that
learn
we can
something that could
sell.
stick with you, something that you could pass down to your kids, pass down to generations. I wish I knew back then about stuff like that. I wish I just wish school taught us a lot more about real life lessons and not just the basics, the stuff to just get teachers in there to get paid and leave. Like it feel like they was just making sure there was a job in process for people and there was a system in process. But I really wish that system really helped guys like me, later on in life. That's why I wish I knew back then that I know now.
One thing I know now that I wish I knew back then is no matter how old you is, you not gonna have it 100% figured out. At no time it's never gonna be figured out, man. As soon as you figure out one problem and know how to handle it with ease, another problem gonna come up. And whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's a bill, whether it's a job change, no matter what, you never gonna have it 100% figured out. You can ask your parents, your grandparents, your oldest, your youngest. Everybody's just always trying to figure it out. Life is just about figuring it out. And back then, you just knew you knew everything. And you
Or at
get
least
older.
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thought.
No, I say knew because I don't know about y'all. I knew everything. I knew everything. And then you get older and realize, bro,
You ain't know nothing.
you don't, and you'll never will. You'll never be able to get everything out of life. Like you'll understand some stuff. You'll see some stuff in the clear light. You'll figure some stuff out. But it's gonna be always something that it ain't clear. It ain't figured out. It ain't gonna never get figured out.
Yeah,
At least not in your lifetime. You might be able to start the next generation off at the part that you in, but they end up ending at another part. Like it'll never be figured out. And I think sometimes that's what people struggle with. They feel like they're lost. I know I feel like I'm lost still sometimes, and you just got to remember that, bro. You ain't gonna never figure it out 100%. You may figure this thing out, but when that other that new thing come up, it's back at square one.
I feel like that was major what you just said. Like some things you really not gonna figure out. You got to learn how to sometimes move on or just try something else. That thing probably not even meant to be figured out. Maybe not by you, maybe by this guy, but not by you. Maybe not by nobody. But some people don't really understand that. Some people be stubborn and I gotta do this. This for me. I gotta. I'm. My mama told me I was gonna be this when I grew up, or I told myself I wanted to be this when I grew up. You feel like you gotta do that, and it's like, nah, bro. This not the life that God had planned for you. So, I feel what you said. That was major, bro. You ain't gonna figure everything out. I wish I knew that too.
And then sometimes it don't have nothing to do with it don't have nothing to do with how much money you make, the kind of house you got, whatever. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Sometimes it's just simple stuff like trying to figure out your relationships. Yeah, meaning what you got going on with your girl, your sisters, your brothers, just trying to figure those things out. Trying to make it where everybody, mesh with no problem. That can be an everlasting life problem because at the end of the day, we all know people change over time. So you done spent the last 5 years trying to figure it out with your brother or your sister that's, y'all don't see eye to eye. Then you finally figure it out and then you end up changing. Now the cycle start over. It's like
Yeah.
I say, not all the time is it financial or career wise. Sometimes it's just life, mental stuff that you gotta work through your stubbornness, your stuff that you need to work through. So
Cause it's funny how y'all say that, cause that's the thing that I didn't know back then that I know now. That when I moved up the road to close to Orlando, it was like I thought I knew it all, and the thing that stuck with me was like having a support system and knowing that you need a trade and knowing that you don't know everything. And the way I learned that was when I went up the road, I thought I had it all planned out. Yeah, I got like 2 jobs, so I got my own crib, da 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 da. I'm just vibing, but that's it, it was way more in this world that I didn't know until I met this young man who had like 3 businesses, and he was putting me up on game on like, oh nah, you don't gotta work the 9 to 5. You could start working trades. He started teaching me finance. He gave me like 3 books to read, and it just opened up my world to where like, oh, you don't have to be in this rat race and expect, oh, be how I said, satisfied or comfortable of having a paycheck coming in. You can go out in this world and have some free time for yourself and find something that you really like. Like he also taught me how to be independent as a male in this world. And when I say be independent as a male in this world, is like finding yourself, basically knowing your passion.
That's major. That's major.
No, that's true. For me, my lesson was um, never take nothing for granted and always be grateful. Back then, when I was a kid and things like that, everything, everything I got that I didn't want, why you brought me that? I ain't asked for that. I was always bad, like bad at the mouth about the things that I received. But now everything that's given to me, I always take it, I always appreciate it because it could be the last that they're giving me. And I didn't know that back then. When things was hard back then, and you got a little Christmas gift, you don't. A light bill wasn't paid, but you'd be ungrateful because it wasn't what you asked for, but it's what they could afford.
Sure.
So now at this point, it's like everything that's given to me, even if a hand me down, some I appreciate you, thank you. I don't know what you did for it. I don't know the backstory, but I appreciate it. And thank you.
10 times.
with that being said, what's a gem that y'all boys have passed to the next guy that I guess one of your gems? What would you pass down?
Failure is opportunity.
Ooh.
Failure is opportunity. Is room to grow. It's opportunity to grow. Don't look at it as the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world at all. It might just be the end of that dark hole that you've been sitting in for the longest, and you finally gonna see some light. So yeah, man, failure is opportunity. It don't mean go out here and fail to get opportunity. Failure is opportunity. It gives you opportunity to have something to look forward to, and I'm big on having something to look forward to. It's like it strengthens my mind knowing that I have something to look forward to. I always try to have something to look forward to. I don't expect nothing, but I just want to have something to look forward to, something that just keep my head on the swivel and just make sure I'm in good spirits and stuff like that. So
Keeps you driven.
exactly, it gives me a drive, keeps me driven. So failure is opportunity, man. It's not the end of the world. It's opportunity.
Well, for me, I would say a gem that I'll pass down since I have a son. I always telling this every day, we're gonna do everything chin up, chest out, regardless of what. And if you did it, face it as a man.
Stand on it.
Stand on it. No matter what the consequences may be, even though you may have done something bad, I want to make sure that you did it. Nobody didn't force you,
Yeah, huh?
and that you could face your consequences. Don't be afraid. Don't show off for none of that. And I say like I tell him, every man bleeds like you bleed. So
And no man should be underestimated.
at all.
My gym, I'm gonna hit on with next play. Everything not gonna go your way. You're not gonna always get the result that you thought you was gonna get or that you wanted. But if you always think next play, I'm gonna get them next play next time. Just keep that
I
mindset.
like that.
Yeah. Mine, run your own race.
Ooh.
The track runners know that you just got to run your own race, worry about your own PRs. If you do that, you'll live a lot better life. You work on beating your last PR pretty much. You don't settle for losing against yourself. You got to beat yourself at least.
Mm-hmm.
You run your own race. You'll be okay.
Facing the man in the mirror.
Yeah,
Man, that's a whole conversation. You can have a whole conversation on that.
real talk.
For real.
Running your own races, boy, that's the most helpful thing. When you stop worrying about people and you really lock into what you got going on, ain't really much nobody can say, much nobody can do. When you running your own race, all the things that y'all just brought up, that'll be easy.
When you running your own race, what the next person doing don't matter to you. I'm
Exactly.
running my own race. I'm doing my own thing. Like if this guy or this girl gets an opportunity before me, that's fine. Maybe I'll never get that opportunity. That ain't my race. That ain't even my lane. So you run your own race and stop worrying about the other things. We got enough stuff to worry about, period. So you add on more to yourself when you worry about the next man or worry about the next female. You have to be able to run your own race. Matter of fact, you not only have to be able to, you have no choice. You have no choice but to
Mandatory.
run your own race. Yeah, it's mandatory. I can't get in Tati lane, even if I wanted to. I can't get in Forest lane, even if I wanted to. You have to run your own race.
It may not be your time.
It may never be your time. You may never even have a time.
Raw.
Uncut.
And authentic.
It's your boy Jay.
And it's your boy Tati.
This your boy Vars.
And it's your boy Drew.
Your mail has been delivered.